Well, a good day to you and a warm welcome back to our financial series that I'm busy with. And I do apologize for taking so long before I post. I'm posting the next installment. And it also gave me some time to really meditate on where are we going with this series. And today I want to speak to you more specifically around the topic of entrepreneurship. And I want to start off by saying to you that I've seen over the past couple of months how many believers are struggling financially, and that there's a tendency amongst believers that everyone now wants to start their own business. And so I decided that I want to address some of this in this session. So I want to start off by posting the question, why become an entrepreneur? Now, there's a host of reasons why individuals would choose to become entrepreneurs over the more traditional route of being an employee. And the truth of the matter is that only you can decide whether the life of an entrepreneur is right for you. But also keep in mind that with the uncertainty of entrepreneurship also comes tremendous freedom and, of course, accountability. I want to share with you today 63 genuine reasons why people become entrepreneurs. But before I do that, I wanted to first of all test yourself and ask yourself, what are some of the signs that will put you in that place where I would not recommend that you try to become an entrepreneur? Now, some of the signs that you're not truly an entrepreneur is that you prefer to receive instructions and to follow instructions. You have to take a step back and ask yourself the question and have this understanding that the world is made up of followers and of leaders, and you need to define for yourself which one of these two are you. If you are committed to be comfortable as an order taker for the rest of your life, perhaps you need to make the call and make the decision that entrepreneurship is not for you. If, on the other hand, you feel inside of you that twitch of desire to make some decisions, to give orders, and that might be within you, that spark of entrepreneurship. The second reason is that you have this configuration on the inside of you that you prefer working to fulfill someone else's dream. There's an investor and philanthropist, Farah Gray, that wrote the following. She said, build your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. And again, the question is, which of these do you prefer to do? Do you prefer to build your own dreams, or do you want to hire somebody to build, or do you want somebody to hire you to build their dreams? You see, some of us have been configured in such a way that we are quite content to pour our life and our hard work into someone else's dream, and that's fine. And many people will find the true fulfillment in this pursuit. Parents, for example, are motivated by a desire to help their children achieve their dreams. Teachers, in turn, give their lives to motivating and prospering a generation of students Non-profit companies exist to rekindle dying dreams. It is not wrong to nurture someone else's dream, but if you have your own dreams, perhaps you should stop working to fulfill someone else's dream. And then the last uh, reason that I want to present to you is, if you don't like hard work, my dear friend, you don't want to become an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is all about hard work. It's about facing your indecisions, your insecurities, your instability, and borderline insanity. There's nothing really pleasant about this. Ironic as it seems, there's a certain satisfaction that we find in hard work. Humans have been created for hard work, and hard work has its own reward. There's a cliche to say, work smart, not hard. But the root reality is that you must work smart and hard. Entrepreneurship isn't a bag of smart tricks that you can pull out of the hat. It is smart tricks combined with hard-pounding hard work. If you're not into the whole hard-working thing, rewarding as it is, well, then I want to say to you today that entrepreneurial life is not for you. The fourth aspect that I want to put before you is that you get along great with everyone in your life. You need to take a step back and take a quick survey of all your human relationships. Do you have any interpersonal problems, a breakup, a shouting match, an argument? No? Nothing? Okay. That's settled. Let me tell you, then probably you are not an entrepreneur. You see, the reality is that entrepreneurs are not the wide grinning, black slapping, glad handing socialites that they may seem to be. Entrepreneurs tend toward the outer fringe of social behavior and of cultural norms. The Fortune magazine featured actually this bit of insight that I want to quote to you. It says, want to find the future entrepreneurs in a room full of teenagers? Look for the boys who like to break a rule from time to time. This will make sense to you when you realize that entrepreneurs are the ones who disrupt industries, that charves against the status quo and sparks a good revolution. Psych Central even reported new research has found a childhood pattern of antisocial tendencies amongst entrepreneurs. So if you're sometimes labeled as a nerd or a geek or boring or rude, don't sweat it. Instead, go and do what you were meant to do. Start a business or even two. The fifth reason is, if you see everything in this world as being just fine, pushing the pessimistic or optimistic dichotomy aside for just a moment, how do you view the world around you? Is everything fine? Or are there few things that could use improving? You see, your perspective of this is a marker of your entrepreneurship tendencies. Entrepreneurs have got this vision. They see things that needs fixing. They see trends that needs changing. They see a world that's not yet perfect, and they work towards that place of bringing those things to a place of perfection. The magazine US Today reported serial entrepreneurs find new problems to fix because, let's be honest with one another, there's a lot that needs fixing in the world. Now that I've poured some cold water over your head and told you what is the characteristics that you have that should stop you from being an entrepreneur. Let me deal with the positive side of what are the reasons why you actually should become an entrepreneur. So what then are the reasons why you should actually become an entrepreneur? First of all, as an entrepreneur, you've got full control over your destiny. You are the one calling the shots. You are the one making the decisions that will ultimately determine the success or the failure of your business. And nobody will get in the way of the vision that you have in your heart. Secondly, you become part of a family. You know, the entrepreneurial culture is almost like that of a big family. And you won't find a better group of people who are willing to offer you advice and help and support than fellow entrepreneurs. You also control who represents your brand. The team you surround yourself with plays a major role in your success. You can assemble a team of like-minded individuals that share your same drive and passion for your dream. For those of you that's got a problem with dress code, as an entrepreneur, there's no dress code. And as the boss, you can wear whatever you want. You can have the opportunity to change lives. If you have an idea for a product or a service that has the potential to make a huge impact in someone's life, go for it. There's nothing that stops you from doing that. And then also, the next point is that you have full control over your workspace and your work area. If you excel in a creative environment, you want an office with dry erase paint so that you can draw on the walls, or you can have a full espresso bar to keep yourself pumped up with caffeine, you can make it happen. You're the boss. You serve as a role model. As an entrepreneur, people will look up to you. You will have the ability to be a role model for your family, for friends, for employees, and members of your community, because your success will serve as motivation and as inspiration to those around you. Now, you know, the nice thing about an entrepreneur is that your life will never be boring. Why? Because there's always something that needs to be done, and you will more than likely always have a mile-long list of things to do. Every day will present to you new challenges and new opportunities that will keep you focused and that will keep you on your toes. If you love to travel, this is for you, because as an entrepreneur, you've got the freedom to travel. Modern technology, you can work with remote employees, and the internet nowadays allow you the freedom to travel while you are still running your business. You are able to see the world while creating an amazing company. This is a very realistic possibility of how you can function and how you can operate. I have come across some writers and some artists that is living their life on the road. They live their lives in a camper. They set up their camper with a studio and everything that they need, their office, and they travel across the world, or rather across the land, and doing what they need to do. They connected to the internet. They do their updates on a daily basis. They post their videos. Whatever they needs to be done, they are doing it. And there's such a freedom in living that kind of a lifestyle. For those of you that has become older like me, it's got gray hair, I want to say to you, there's no age barrier of when you can start becoming an entrepreneur or not. And overall, we normally see that entrepreneurship starts at a very young age. Some straight out of college, some still while they are in high school, and even children as young as 9-year-olds that have this desire to create healthy treats. I have been watching, I love cooking sometimes, not always, sometimes. And there was, on this one program that I watched on YouTube, there was this youngster, I think it was 9 or 10 years old, that started off his life as a chef in just because he enjoys cooking and baking and doing stuff with food. And he's become a huge success. So it doesn't matter what your age are. I've seen people start up things like this that is in their 60s. And really, there's no limit. The sky is the limit. You limit yourself in terms of what you can do and what you cannot do. And I really want to encourage you and say to you that I think one of the greatest challenges that entrepreneurs face, or if you want to become an entrepreneur that you will face, is your mind, is your mindset. It's your self-confidence. It's the lack of believing in yourself and believing in your dream, and not to listen to what other people are telling you to, but to find that place on the inside of yourself that is crying out to be fulfilled and to do what God has called you to do. You know, as you grow older, they tell you that you're going to lose your mind. I want to say to you, if you become an entrepreneur, your mind will always be busy. You will always be utilized. Every single decision that's got to do with your business involves your mind. You've got to think, you've got to plan. And it is your responsibility, from the initial concept of the business to the branding of the business, to the growing of the business, and even to that place and point where you have to put down the goals and objectives of what you want to accomplish through your business. Then, of course, there's the satisfaction of saying that you are a business owner. What a great feeling it is to take a step back and say, this is my company, while you are holding up your head. But again, I want to say to you, being an entrepreneur takes an incredible amount of work. And the truth of the matter is, to say those words, this is my company, those few words feel so good when it comes out of your mouth, because you can say that I've established something. Another aspect of being an entrepreneur is you don't have to be cornered into a little cubicle. You don't have to work from a cubicle. You, as an entrepreneur, have got the freedom to roam, to create, to delegate, and to work. You don't have to be tied to a desk. There's no cubicles that is keeping you behind your desk all day. And then, of course, there's no blame game. There's no finger pointing when something goes wrong. Why? Because the buck stops with you. Every decision that you make on a daily basis impacts your business directly. And I think that is one of the best kinds of motivation that we can find in the business environment to ensure that we are successful. Another point is that you will never feel undervalued. If you have ideas to make your business better, you can implement them right away. You don't have to wait for somebody that's up there in the higher hierarchy or a higher position that will actually give you the time and day and time of day and really will be willing to sit down and listen to your suggestions. In my own journey in life, I've seen so often that when I've gone to my superiors and said to them, you must be careful of this and this and this, they didn't listen to me. And sadly to say, at one of the companies where I used to work, they've gone into bankruptcy now. There's two of them, because they would not implement what I've told them to do. So that's a positive thing, is that you don't have to wait for somebody else and feel that your value is connected to whether people listen to your ideas or not. You are the owner of your ideas and you make them work. And then, of course, I think one of the greatest exciting things that we do when we become an entrepreneur is that you can create something from nothing. Every business starts as an idea, and you, as the owner of that idea, you get to create that from the ground up. You build it up. Now, the truth of the matter is also that as an entrepreneur, you will get out of your business that what you put into your business. If you are willing to work harder than anyone else, you will be rewarded accordingly. You want to experience more growth and opportunities? You simply have to work harder. Also, the beauty of this entrepreneurship is that you can provide opportunities for family members. Now, you can uplift your whole family. And many will say to you that mixing family and business partnerships is a bad idea. And I do agree with that. But this is less of an issue when we talk about in that environment as from a position of being an employer and an employee, and building that kind of relationship where you can separate family life from being an employee in the business. It gives you also very fulfilling an opportunity to give back. Owning a business gives you the opportunities to support local charity events, local schools, non-profit companies or organizations. It's put you in the position where you are able to make a difference in your community. And that is such a great feeling, to know that you are changing somebody's life. You become healthier. Why? Because you're not locked behind a desk. You have a flexible schedule. You can create for yourself a fitness routine and stick to it. You can hit the gym early in the morning. You can do it over lunch. You can do it in the evenings. Whatever works for you, you can make it work. You can take a day off from the office and just go, like I do, go fishing, because you need that healthy exercise, fresh air, nature around you so that you can be restored. And then you've got to create and cultivate this mindset that it's okay to enjoy your hobbies. You see, as long as you do the work and you give 100% when you are working, you can spend your free time doing the things that you love to do. You can attend more sporting events. You can go to more conferences and seminars if you like to do that. You can play more rounds of golf. You can go fishing more if you're a fisherman like me. Or as being an entrepreneur provides you with the ability to enjoy your hobbies much more. than a person that is permanently employed. You contribute to society. You can directly impact society by introducing a service or a product that people use. And again, the beauty of all of this is that you report to nobody. There's no boss that you need to report to, and you don't have to get up your expense requests approved because you are in charge of the bank. If you want to do something you believe that will help your business, there's no red tape that you need to navigate through. Now, I've told you all these positive things, but one of the greatest challenges that you will face as an entrepreneur, and that is leading a company and a team of those that work for you on a growth path. That is a huge challenge. The obstacles that you face along the way will provide you with an experience that you won't find anywhere else. It is a growth process. I don't know if you've ever seen these little hamsters on the wheels. You know, if you put them on that wheel, they keep on running, going around and around and around, and they're not going anywhere. Now, I want to say to you, as an entrepreneur, you are not being put into a career hamster wheel. Just imagine doing the same thing every day for as long as you work. You know, thank the Lord that as an entrepreneur, you don't have to worry about this. You wear different hats, you play a variety of roles, and you're constantly doing something else. And you're not locked into this system of just letting the wheel turn the whole time. Entrepreneurship also gives you the ability to pivot or to pivot. If your business model slows down, you have the freedom to pivot. Just think for a moment how many businesses died when it shifted to the internet environments. You see, the guys who were good entrepreneurs and who had good leaders, they simply pivoted and made the necessary adjustments to survive. As an entrepreneur, you create a legacy. You create a successful brand to the point where it leaves a personal legacy behind that is appealing and serves as a motivation, a place of motivation for many other entrepreneurs. I want to say to you, as an entrepreneur, you've got this opportunity to turn that about which you are passionate and that in which you believe into a business. If you are passionate about health and fitness, become a nutritional consultant, open a gym. You have the ability to create a business as well as impact people through your passions and through your beliefs. As an engineer, you can make people happy. There's a good chance that you own an Apple product, iPhone, MacBook, iMac, iPod, iPad. And these products brings a smile to faces of millions of people every single day. Sure, we see this, that Apple is making millions and billions of dollars, but they are also making their customers happy. The beauty of being an entrepreneur is that you will never hit a ceiling. You see, some jobs that you work in have a growth cap and you can only advance so far. But when you are an entrepreneur, there's no ceiling. There's nothing to stop you from growing higher and deeper as what you've been doing. And then for me, part of this beauty is that you can earn a living while doing what you love. Guys, let's face it, money is not our God, but money is important. And when you are able to make a comfortable living, doing what you love, man, that's a win-win situation. Feeling appreciated is great, and it's a great feeling when you receive an email or a phone call from someone that took the time out of his or her day to let you know that your business has impacted them in a positive way. You build your own security. Guys, it doesn't get more secure than controlling your own destiny. You will never stress about having the wrong person in charge of your business because you are that person. You know, entrepreneurship, I love it. You know why? Because you get to constantly evolve, constantly learn, constantly develop. And as an entrepreneur, you're always learning new lessons. It's true. Sometimes you learn them the hard way, but it's a priceless education that you will never get in a classroom or studying some academic course. As an entrepreneur, you can eliminate downsizing or even the fears of your personnel for being laid off. Businesses make cuts and lay off employees daily, and that can be extremely stressful. But when you become an entrepreneur, this fear doesn't exist because, again, you are the one that's in control of your own destiny. There's a saying in the entrepreneurial world that says that bad days could always be worse. And what do we mean by that? We say that a bad day as an entrepreneur is better than a bad day working for somebody else. As an entrepreneur, there's no degree or pieces of paper that stands in your way. You don't have to have a degree from some kind of university or school to start a business. You know that the reality of the fact is that some of the most successful tech billionaires is those ones that have dropped out of college. As an entrepreneur, you get to push the envelope. There are no boundaries. You create, you invent, you disrupt as you wish. And that is how brilliant ideas are being born. You have the opportunity as an entrepreneur to satisfy your own personal curiosity. Most entrepreneurs are curious, asking themselves the question, will my idea work? Can I grow this into a sustainable business? Can I be a good leader? You are the answer to those questions. I don't know how many of you that's watching this video today have actually operated in the corporate world. I come from that place. And I'm so glad that I've been set free. I thank the Lord every day that I am no longer caught up in that whole system, corporate system. Why? As the one running the business, you call the shots. There's no more boring meetings. If you are locked into a boring meeting as the owner of the business and the one that most probably called the meeting, you can only blame yourself. So, and you don't have to waste time with all these meetings. Going from meeting to meeting where the same thing is discussed over and over again and nothing happens, nothing gets done. No decisions are being executed. Yeah, I tell you, what a waste of time. Then, of course, there's the whole thing. If you start being recognized by the media and by the press, what a wonderful feeling this is. to receive media coverage, and if you are being validated in the media, it's extremely satisfying, where you receive recognition for the hard work that you've put in to your business, and that actually fuels your inner drive and your inner fire. And I think one of the most important things of being an entrepreneur is you shift from being a taker to a giver. You become a provider. And as an entrepreneur, you will become a provider for many. Your employees will depend on you for your leadership, for your decision-making. And as a result, it will directly impact their livelihood and their well-being. As an entrepreneur, you create your own corporate culture. You get to create a corporate culture based on what you believe. You want to allow your employees to work from home on Fridays? So be it. How about providing an in-office daycare to allow your employees to bring their children to work? You can get to the place where you develop a corporate culture that you believe will provide the best environment for those in your employ for success and for excellence. And of course, you will experience personal growth on a level and at a pace that you cannot believe. It's such a great feeling when you look back and see how much you've grown as an individual. And the growth and the success of a business is often directly related to the personal growth of the entrepreneur behind that business. One thing that you've got to do when you become an entrepreneur is you've got to become a problem solver. And you don't only become a problem solver, you become an expert problem solver. And as a business owner, you become very resourceful. And over time, you will learn to overcome anything and solve any problem that has been placed in front of you. You will find solutions where everybody else thought there was no solution. Why? Because it's your baby. It's your business, and you've got to keep it afloat. The beauty of being an entrepreneur also is that you are working, but it never feels like work. And some people might disagree with me here. But I want to say to you, that just means that you haven't found that thing to do that you truly love to do. And once you do, find that, you will never refer to what you do as being a job. It is your passion. Even if you have learning disabilities, it won't stop you. You will shift, go through a process of endless life experience. You get to travel to new places and interact with different people all the time. What some might see as just a business conference, you see as an opportunity to visit a new part of the world and meet people you would have never met otherwise. The other thing that you also develop is a jaw of iron. Man, you are going to get hit. You are going to get knocked down. And as a business entrepreneur, you've got to learn to take the punches and to continue to get up. And that only turns you into becoming a stronger business owner and an individual. You learn to walk on the edge, or some would say you get to walk on the wild side of life. When you put your own livelihood and finances on the line because you believe in something 100%, that becomes a rush. There's some adrenaline pumping there, let me tell you. For those of you that hate performance reviews, this is some good news. You conduct your own business performance review. Your sales, your company morale, growth, and customer feedback can all be used to judge your performance. Not some person with a clipboard and a generic question and answer review test. The result speaks for itself. You've only got one competitor as an entrepreneur, and that is yourself. You see, as an entrepreneur, you've got a default setting that you are competitive by nature. And the goal is to consistently and constantly improve and grow. So it turns it into a personal competition where you ask yourself the question, can I make more business contacts today than I did yesterday? Can I motivate my sales team to crush the numbers of what they achieved the day before? So there's a constant drive, there's a constant pushing to the next level. Being an entrepreneur enables you to dream big. No idea is too crazy and no goal is too big when you are an entrepreneur because you define your dream. Think about that for a moment. You know, I want to morph here for a moment, if I may. You define your dream. I have been dealing with a lot of people, being a pastor, over a long period of many, many years, more than 30, 40 years. And if I look back over my life and I looked at all the engagements that I've had over the years, you know what I see? There's thinkers and there's doers. I've dealt with many people that are in a place of suffering, a place of poverty, but they stay in that place. If you investigate, you find that some of them will be at a place where they're constantly dreaming of what they're going to do to change their circumstances, but they never do anything. They stay in that place because of fear. They're too afraid to step out and change the environment, change their things. They're so caught up in that poverty mindset that they cannot break free of it. Everything they do is determined of what they have in their hand. And I want to say to you, if you operate from that way, you can never be an entrepreneur. Because you've got to be a go-getter. You've got to walk and you've got to break free and you've got to be able to dream big. People will tell you are nuts, you are crazy. The truth of the matter is, if you've got this kind of entrepreneurial setup, I want to say to you that you will never fit into a corporate environment. You will constantly be chafing at the bridle because you don't fit in. And I know that sometimes this can be quite frustrating. And you've got to break free or find the solution. If you sit in a corporate environment, you either have to find a way in how to function within that corporate environment. And if you do that, you can discover something beautiful. But you might find at the end of the day that your creativity simply will not be cut out and keep you within the limitations of a corporate lifestyle. As an entrepreneur, you don't want a lifestyle that is keeping you from 9 to 5. And people are looking for safety in knowing that I start work at 9 and I go home at 5 o'clock. But the truth of the matter is that as an entrepreneur, you're going to work really hard and really long. So don't choose to become an entrepreneur if you think that entrepreneurship is going to be a shortcut to relax and enjoy life. Having said that, you will work hard, but there's also so much more flexibility and freedom in an entrepreneurial lifestyle than the traditional 9 to 5 jobs, 2 weeks of vacation that the corporate life permits. As an entrepreneur, you can take leave whenever you want. You're the boss. You dictate what you want. There's an old saying about entrepreneurship, and let me share this with you. It says, entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people cannot. It is hard work, but with that effort comes the ability to shape your life the way how you see fit. And let me leave you with this last thought concerning entrepreneurship. If you are an entrepreneur, you are passionate about developing yourself, about learning, and your learning process should never stop. And many people equate stage status and certain achievements with the end of their education. But to continuously be learning is to be alive. As an entrepreneur, you are never satisfied with the knowledge that you have. You are always seeking more knowledge. If you find that learning interests you, from formal education, you will shift to on-the-job discoveries that you can never know about the things that excite you. Then you have identified one of the genuine reasons why individuals are being driven to be entrepreneurs. There's a mega successful entrepreneur. His name is Michael Gerber. He says, the entrepreneur in us sees opportunities everywhere we look, but many people see only problems everywhere they look. You see, the entrepreneur in us is more concerned with discriminating between opportunities than he or she is failing to see the opportunities. As an entrepreneur, you are a problem solver. You find that thing where there's a gap in the market and you come up with a witty invention and you become successful. I pray that as you meditate on what I shared with you here today, that it will really stir you. I hope it will excite you to step out, break out of the boundaries, and start doing something. Stop living your life the way that you are used to live it. You know, somebody said, if you keep on doing the same thing in the same way, you will always get the same result. If you are happy with your life, don't change. But if you want to change your life, You need to find these things that you can identify that makes you tick. Find those things in life that you are passionate about and pour yourself into that. And ask God to direct your footsteps, to give you witty inventions on how you can use that to create additional streams of income for you and for the community in which you live, to become one that creates jobs, one that brings advancement in the community where you stay and where you live. Use what you have in the palms of your hand. You know, people always think that to start up a business, you need millions and millions of rands. That's not true. You can start off small, little things and move forward as you grow and as you develop. The choice is yours. I think the challenge has been placed before you, and it's up to you to decide what you're going to do. Are you going to be happy living your life the way that you do, or are you going to pick up the challenge and say, I am going to become all that I can be and shift into the next dimension, in the next level, and become a true kingdom citizen in the kingdom of God, where I can advance through what I generate the kingdom purposes of God. Well, God bless you, and thanks for listening to me today, my ramblings, and I pray that you will be greatly blessed. God bless.